guys, I was meaning to make this video last night, but couldn't. I pretty much went to bed right after the conversation that me and willowgobinqueen were talking about. She is my fairy witch guru right now. Anything I have, any questions about fairy magic, I go to her. One thing that you guys probably never heard me talk about this, or never ever seen me actually go out of my way and introduce this, but I have no knowledge in fairy magic as much. I remember doing a Blog Talk Radio with Michelle. We had the fairy thing, but I had all these little giant ass notes from my friend, and I gave it back to her because she had like a little thing like, hey, give it back to me when you're done. And I thought it'd be I thought it was kind of unusual, but hey, to each their own. I haven't really checked my library, period, about anything that deals with fairy magic, but I know some of my books do mention some of it, and I kind of skipped the chapter because I was like, that's a whole new can of worms I don't want to open. Up until now. And what made me kind of like thought about fairy magic was, well, besides willowgobinqueen, besides cat, it was the fact that my bushes were chopped down in my backyard about a month ago, and it was really ridiculous because the fire marshal pretty much said that it's a fire hazard, or it potentially can perish a person if the trees, they're kind of like bush trees in a way. They were like above my roof. They were like literally made my room. Like if you look outside my window a year ago, you would see like a forest green. There was like a whole bunch of green, and I had like little charms hanging out on it, and I had these little things, and I had to remove them because the fire marshal told the gardeners that they had to hack it down about almost a little below level of the window, and that's pretty low. That's pretty much half of it, the tree. They chopped it down, and two of them at the very, very end of the opposite side of the house in the backyard are dying because they've been hacked in an inappropriate way. And I think they were very immature tree/bushes, or an overgrown bush, I say. I'm not really sure what they really are, but they're really beautiful. So what made me kind of thought about fairies in my bushes and stuff, because there used to have been a whole bunch of caterpillars, spiders, all sorts of spiders, tree frogs, or like funny looking amphibian looking frogs. They had like weird colors, psychedelic colors on them, if you will. And you name a bug and it was in there. Moths, not bees, but hornets. Some of them actually made little cubby little nests in there. It's like all these little things are like, whoa. They were right outside my window, which I'm so happy for screens because it totally stopped them from coming in. I was like, thank God for screens, because they would totally kill me because my head's right here, right by my window. Currently, you guys are on my nightstand. Hold on, I need a drink. Pomegranate raspberry tea. My little secret loving recipe. Almost every year, right outside my window, not specifically outside my window, specifically not at my window, but right outside my window is dirt, those trees, and then right by it is grass, and that's where Henry's like right there. Mushrooms will grow, and Kat's like, whoa, what color mushrooms do you have? And I go, if it wasn't for the gardeners, there would be a whole bunch of mushrooms right there. But the colors of the mushrooms are very, very off eggshell white, kind of dull looking color. Kind of like what you see in convenience stores, that kind of mushrooms. But not, I don't think they're edible mushrooms. She says, you may or may not have a fairy colony or a fairy gather near your bedroom or whatnot, because magic attracts them. And she was talking about how they're half in the physical plane and half in the astral plane. So when you give them offers, offer them, and sometimes they won't eat it. Like, I won't see a physical information that, oh yeah, they are eating it, it's to them. Sometimes they just eat the essence of it, and you discard it, respectively. But you got to show them, to gain trust, you have to show them that when you eat them, like when you eat the offering, you eat a little piece of offering, say a little for me and the rest for you. Was a really big thing that she said, and I was really liking it. So a little for me and the rest for you. Show them that it's not poisonous, because who are they to trust us if we never communicate? So it's kind of like a welcome wagon. So I want to do that. I want to actually, that she inspired me to do that. And I just want to have a little fairy house, if not a little kingdom near my window. If I can't, then I'm probably just going to build a fairy house up underneath my roof. The underneath roof area where you can hang like wind chimes, like where my wind chimes are. I might do that just so I could just avoid the gardeners from destroying it, because the gardeners don't think or understand anything. They're Americans, they're white, they speak English. I talk to them a lot of times to avoid them chopping up my Henry plant, because there's already one time he's already asking me if I can chop out down this weed. I'm like, it's Henry, he's growing. Can't you tell it's a lavender? And in one ear and out the asshole, pretty much. I want to connect to fairies. So that is my thing, is I want to connect to fairy magics and anything in the fairy realm. I don't want to overload myself with so much knowledge of fairies where I just want to go, ugh. I don't want to kill the newbie joy to it, as in like somebody would be new to Wicca. So that's my new quest, is to get into fairy magic. Not my gay magic, not the gay fairy, but the fairy as in the little charms, charmful little creatures. I know I have a book that talks a lot about different types of fairy folk, how there's brownies and how there's like elves and pixies, and there's all these little differences, and Willow's kind of filling in little gaps of, to me, Cat's doing it. So if you're watching this, Cat, hello, sorry for the long video. Other than that, thank you for watching. If you have any advice for me, please make some comments, do whatever you want. Till then, blessed be.